Sales is as easy as ABC. Always be closing. Always be closing. But before you can close, you need to prospect and find a lead you can close. Prospecting is where it begins. And if you hate prospecting, if you hate cold calling, you're going to love the goyaPhone because it's the phone for salespeople. Prospecting boils down to three things: phone calls, emails, and appointments. With the goyaPhone, making phone calls is as simple as clicking a button so that you won't have to manually dial phone numbers hundreds of times a day anymore. Here's the phone status showing the phone's ringing. Now this is the preview version, we're still 100 days from launch, but you get the concept. You can set the call outcome. For emails, you just click send email. When you're prospecting, you're usually sending some variation with the same email. So with the goyaPhone, you can create email templates and then you select the one you need, make the adjustments, and click send. Notice that the email goes directly to Outlook because it's using the mail to protocol, which means you'll be able to use your existing email software without having to configure anything. The goal is to help you send follow-up emails as quickly as possible with minimal effort. So you call people, you send emails, and the third thing you do is book appointments because you need to call back people on time. You click set appointment and notice how quickly you can select a date and a time and book an appointment. There it is. So with the goyaPhone, the three tools you used are combined into just one efficient interface designed specifically for prospecting. But what really matters in terms of converting cold calls into sales is what comes after the phone call. It's the follow-up that makes a sale happen. Now if you could remember everything about every lead you've ever worked with, the follow-up would be easy because you'd know which lead to call at any given time to get the best chances of reaching your goal. One way to manage the follow-up is to use a traditional CRM. But the problem with traditional CRMs is that in order for the CRM to remember anything, you need to enter that information into the CRM. So for instance, if you want your CRM to show you the call history of your leads, because the phone and the software are separate, each time you talk to someone, you're going to have to enter that information in the CRM manually. And same thing with emails. So that means that prospecting becomes a matter of not only working the phone and the email, but also of working the CRM. You don't want a software that makes you work. You want a software that does the work for you. And with the goyaPhone, because the phone, the email, and the appointments are all integrated in one unique tool, it remembers everything for you, right here in the lead information. All the sales history in just one glance. And notice how after the initial learning curve, when you'll be using the goyaPhone at full speed, you'll be able to do all your follow-up in just a few seconds, compared to having to use your email client and then having to enter your sales activity of each lead manually into a CRM. With the goyaPhone, you'll be working without any of the frustration of manual dials of manual data entry, and you'll end up spending more quality time on the phone. Now because of how the goyaPhone is designed, it will enable you to do something else that is just not possible if you're using a traditional CRM. Let me show you. We're going to go in the load phone page. When you're prospecting, you're making a lot of phone calls. And many of these phone calls lead nowhere because that's just the name of the game. There are prospects who will never buy, in which case you should simply throw the lead away. And sometimes, a prospect won't buy because he may not be in the market for your product or your service at the moment you're calling. But he might be in 6 months from now or a year from now. And so that person you spoke with for 10 minutes was receptive, was interested, was even willing to receive an email, but that was a year ago, and now you've completely forgotten about him. So the 10 to 15 minutes of work you've done on that lead is wasted if you never come across that lead again. So with the goyaPhone, you're going to be able to build a pipeline of prospects like these, and then you're going to be able to find them again. Depending on how you organize your leads, you can pinpoint for only certain lead sheets, but for now we're going to select all our leads and filter for the ones that are currently fresh, cold, warm, but not the hot ones and not the DNCs, the do not calls. And then you simply click on what you want to look for. For instance, show me all the prospects I haven't talked to in the last 3 months, but with whom I've talked to for more than 10 minutes. In other words, the people I've had some real sales conversation with, but also only the ones who are willing to receive an email. And that's just one example. Look at all the other possibilities and ask yourself how these combinations could help you. Now we're just going to press count leads, And here the goyaPhone is going to go through all the work you've done. And there, all the prospects. Now we can just press load phone, and they're in the dialer, ready to dial. And what I just did in a few clicks here was simply impossible for me to do when I was cold calling with my paper-based lead sheets. So a lot of work was just wasted. But with the goyaPhone, the work you did with those leads still matters today, because the goyaPhone is all about making the work you did before count today. This is the preview, about 100 days from launch. Thank you for watching, and I hope someday you join us.